In 1879, an excavator named Hormuzd Rassam, working on behalf of the British Museum, was digging through the ruined foundations of Babylon, in the buried remains of a temple called the Esagila. Buried in that foundation, exactly where ancient builders placed ceremonial deposits, he found a barrel-shaped clay cylinder, inscribed all the way around, in cuneiform script. It had nothing to do with Judah specifically. It was Cyrus's own general policy, announced in his own words, describing how he intended to govern his new empire. The text describes Cyrus restoring shrines belonging to displaced peoples and permitting deported populations from many different nations to return to their homelands and rebuild what had been taken from them. It is, in essence, an imperial policy statement written from Cyrus's own administration, confirming the exact kind of mercy and restoration the Bible attributes to him toward the Jewish exiles specifically. This wasn't a Hebrew scribe's flattering account of a foreign king. This was the foreign king's own government documenting its own policy, independently, for entirely different administrative reasons. And that policy lines up precisely with what Scripture claims happened to the exiles of Judah. A scattered, displaced people's wildest hope for mercy turned out to be standard operating procedure for the empire that held their fate in its hands. And the proof had been sitting in the mud of Babylon for over 2,000 years, waiting for a shovel. From an empire's mercy, we move forward in time, into the New Testament itself, and into a discovery that began not with a planned excavation, but with a broken pipe under the streets of Jerusalem. Number 4. The pool a burst pipe uncovered. In the Gospel of John, Jesus heals a man born blind in a strange and specific way. He makes mud, applies it to the man's eyes, and sends him to wash in a particular named location, the Pool of Siloam. For centuries, visitors to Jerusalem were shown a small Byzantine-era pool near the end of an ancient tunnel, and told this was the spot. It was underwhelming. Too small, too late, and historically unconvincing as the grand ritual pool the Gospel writers seem to be describing. Skeptics pointed to the mismatch as evidence that the Gospel of John was written generations later by someone unfamiliar with Jerusalem's actual geography. A theological story, dressed up in fake local color. In the autumn of 2004, a construction crew working on a sewage line near the southern end of the ancient city of David hit something they weren't expecting.